Today on Learn Me Something
Bug music.
versus
The Joe Schmo Show.
You ever been walking and you see somebody with like holding a drink, but you don't have a drink, and then you wish you had a drink?
Enraged with jealousy.
Do you ever get that? Because sometimes I'm walking and I'm
Frequently.
like, oh, it'd be fun to just be walking and holding a drink right now.
Sometimes, if it's something really refreshing looking, like if someone's holding a glass bottle of Coke and there's like a little bit of dew dripping down the outside, you know, and you can tell they
Did
just
they
ripped
do
it
like
out of
they
a cooler.
left it outside overnight in the grass?
Exactly. But nothing looks more enticing to me than a glass of Coke that someone accidentally left out in the grass overnight.
Okay. Well, sometimes I see that and I'm like, man, it'd be nice to be carrying a drink right now.
I'd love to be sipping.
And then when I am carrying a drink and walking, I just completely take it for granted.
You got to remember those moments.
I know.
Those
and then
precious moments.
appreciate. It's like when you have a stuffy nose. You're like, when when I can breathe clear and free, I'm never taking it for granted. And then you immediately forget.
Yeah, I saw a video last week on Instagram that was a guy who's just like, hey guys, remember when you get a sore throat and you think, man, whenever I don't have a sore throat, I'm going to be so appreciative and thankful. And he's like, this is your moment. You don't have a sore throat right now. This is your moment to
Feel
be
it.
thankful.
Embrace.
Enjoy.
Anyway, so I was walking with a drink on my way over here. And that's
Yeah.
why I thought I was appreciating it. It's like, I got a drink in my hand, walking down the street. I'm loving it.
Did you do the Peter Parker finger guns at the
Yeah, I
cars
did.
driving by?
And then I twirled.
That's
And then I tripped and spilled it, so I had to get another. No, just kidding.
What a
We're
day.
all good.
It sounds like you've had a classic warm summer American day.
I have.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Um,
I'm happy about that for you.
Yeah. Oh, also, I'm back in town.
Oh yeah,
So
we're in the
not,
studio
we're
together.
not recording remotely. So this is always fun.
That's why
I
there
love this.
isn't an extra half a second of lag in between our sentences.
Yeah. Sometimes one or the other of us seems like we don't quite get jokes. We're just like a little bit slow sometimes.
It's like
That's why.
it's not because we're
can't-
bad socially.
We
It's
can't
because
quite
of,
figure it out.
Yeah, it's FaceTime. But we're back
We're back. We're here.
for a limited time only. Catch it while you can.
Yes. If you're new, quick learning about what this podcast is. Let me learn you about what this is.
Please.
Competitive teaching podcast where we
Yeah.
each bring a topic to the table and we have you as the listener decide who wins and who loses each week. Losers got to do a punishment. Last episode, Caleb. I use week and episode interchangeably, so I got to figure that
It's
out.
not, especially
Not
lately.
weekly.
It is not weekly.
Not weekly. Last episode, you lost. What was the
Yeah.
punishment? How did it go?
Still going. And so far, fine. Not horrible.
Still, wait, are you?
Have you not noticed this yet?
Oh, you're wearing two.
You didn't.
No.
You've been here for like 45 minutes, and I've just been. We've like walked around together. No, it sounds like I have a big apartment. We went.
we
We went
we
to
went
the
all the way to the second dining room, and then we came back.
We went and checked out the spare bowling alley.
And then I had to go a couple floors down to
Exactly.
go to the bathroom. No, I see you're wearing one Choco. That's a left Choco or a right Choco
Yes, on my. No, it's a left Choco on my
on your right foot, and you're also wearing a left shoe on your left foot.
on my left foot. Yeah. So the punishment, as was voted on by the people for the people on our Instagram at Learn Podcast, is I have to wear two left shoes for a day. If we're being honest, I forgot about it. So the first half of this day I was not. So I'll have to make up some time tomorrow to really make it fully punishy.
How's it going so far?
I was happy to get my foot into this Choco. I chose
It
Choco
worked,
because I
yeah.
figured it would be the most easily adaptable. You know, just keep the straps loose.
Yeah.
Um,
And you're still technically wearing it.
yeah. The downside, if I do anything public, it's gonna be pretty jarring aesthetically for people. I think.
Oh, you're worried about other people.
Yeah, because we've got friends who are in like a rec softball league, and so like if I went to a game, everyone would be like, hey, there's a guy over there who's wearing 2 different shoes, and one of them is not the correct
Oh, and you
side."
think that'll affect their gameplay? Probably.
I'm worried my friend is going to struggle with
Yeah.
the swing.
I get it. That makes sense to me. So maybe just don't go. That's the kind thing to do.
That's, yeah, the best thing I
friendly?
could do is stay here for the next 24 hours to make sure
Okay.
that no one is offended by
Also,
my choices.
by the way, this punishment was submitted by Allison McCown.
Yes,
You know Allison?
I do. Do you?
I don't know Allison.
Okay, that's because I met her in Texas. Thanks for submitting that.
Yeah,
This
thanks,
is a fun one.
Allison. Thanks for. I don't know. I'm just glad. Thanks everybody for voting for Caleb and not for me.
Yeah, I got thoroughly destroyed this episode. It was a
did?
little bit of. I thought I brought
You
something
did?
fun.
You did.
Apparently, people hated it.
Yeah.
So
It's always, every single episode. If you lose, you're like, everybody hates
They
me.
hate me. Oh, they hate me. So I brought a similar vibe topic for this episode since people love it
there
so
you
much.
go.
I'm doubling down.
Okay. Yeah. What do we need to talk about? Anything else before we jump in?
I don't have too much. We were scrolling the stats of our podcast before we hit record, and we've got some new listeners and some fun spot. Like we've got some new listeners in Germany.
Yeah. If you're a German listener, reach out.
Welcome.
We want to. Yeah.
Please.
We want to chat.
We've got quite a few listeners from towns that Josiah and I do not know people in, which is always fun. Like, so if you're someone that neither of us know, hey,
Yeah.
what an odd thing.
Reach out. We want to get to know people.
We want to know
If
you.
you don't know us, we want to get to know you. So
Yeah.
reach out somehow, Instagram or
I insist.
what have you.
Or leave a review. Do whatever.
Speaking of reviews, we haven't read reviews in a while. There's this one review that we got a couple months ago.
Oh, I've not looked in a while.
Oh.
I don't look lately.
It's very cool. This makes me feel great. This is from Wolfed Out 7777.
Okay, good.
Very entertaining and fun for. I don't know how to read the rest.
For
of the
what?
review. Oh, here we go. Well, I don't know how to read the rest of that. Okay. Heard about this podcast from my brother who heard about it from a friend.
Oh.
So good. I binge listened to all the episodes to get caught up so I can vote. Isn't that awesome?
That's the coolest thing I've ever heard in my whole
Wonderful
life.
topics, fun stories, and awesome hosts. I look forward to each new episode. So that was a while ago, back in November, but whoever wrote this, Wolfed Out, thank you so much.
Thank you. That's so encouraging.
Yeah, it's cool to hear the feedback.
Wait, you said that was November?
That was November.
Oh, I have not looked to see what our reviews have been since November.
Yeah.
If you guys were curious, we just do this for fun. So I'm never like
This is a
checking our
money-making
metrics
business.
or anything.
No, it's not. Yeah, we'll keep reading reviews as we get them. There's another one here, but I'll save that one.
Oh.
This is a great one also.
Oh, so we'll do it another time.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, we'll save it for 5 seconds from now. 1, 2, 3. Okay, here it. No, just kidding. We'll read it
Nice.
another time. But if you haven't reviewed us, it helps,
Yeah.
and we appreciate the feedback.
And share it with your brothers. Share
Yeah.
that podcast with your brother's friends.
Brothers
Or your brother's-
friends. Who could they share it with? Brothers, friends,
Aunts.
aunts.
Coworkers.
Yep.
Perhaps prison mates if you
Prison mates.
have access.
Okay, if you are in a prison or visit a prison.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Inmates and staff, probably.
Yeah.
Anybody.
School
works there.
children with access to technology.
Yep,
We have. It's a clean show.
it is.
Josiah said the P word one time.
I don't think I did.
Poop.
Anyway, it's clean. Who else could you share this with? Your dog walker,
Yeah.
cat walker,
Dentist.
doctor,
Lawyer's assistant.
neighbor.
So let's do 3 more. And we need to give people
Are you getting
inspiration.
tired?
Yeah. Pet clinician.
What's that?
Clinician.
Pet
A person
clinistician.
who works at a Petco. A pet. What am I looking for? Vet.
A pet vet.
Yeah.
You could share it with your guitar teacher, and you could share it with your just regular math teacher.
Perfect.
Okay.
That's something
Some
we've never
ideas
done.
for you guys.
Yeah, a little brainstorming. Yes, there's something in there for everyone, I
Yeah,
think.
there should be.
Anyway, before we start, I'm playing with a ball that is called. I shouldn't have brought this up. I don't remember what it's called.
I've seen those before.
Ketra, perhaps. It's from Thailand.
Yes, I was gonna say they're popular in Asia.
Yeah, it's like my mom got this for me for my birthday. It's like
In Thailand,
yeah, I was like, when did you go to Thailand? No, she
this is the most expensive little
she
plastic
follows
ball.
she follows a family on something that does stuff, and that they gave her the idea.
Oh yeah, I follow them too.
You follow that
My
one.
mom
family that
told me
does it.
about. Yeah, they've been traveling the world for 1 year.
You actually know who I'm
No,
talking
I'm
about
serious.
based off of that one.
I'm
sentence?
serious. Because I've talked with your mom about this family,
What?
and no, they're pretty cool.
That's
it's like
fun.
a family of what are they, 6 or 7?
Sure.
They've been traveling for a year.
And they were in Thailand, and
They
we
were.
learned about this. It's like volleyball. So okay, let me clarify. I don't know the rules, but I watched a brief video,
Yeah.
and it looks like volleyball, or like a mix of volleyball and like badminton. So the net is lower, but it's a small ball, about half the size of a soccer ball. But they kick it instead of hitting it like in volleyball. But when they kick it, they do full
Like a
splits, like a ballet.
Let me tell
Oh.
you something.
They probably do backflips too.
We've talked about this before.
On your unique sports?
We have
Tekra?
Underground Sports, Sepak Tekra. That's what that is.
I'm just now making this connection. What a day.
Yeah,
Hey, Wolved Out 7777777.
just 4.
Remember that episode? 7777.
They do.
I bet
Fresh
they do.
in the mind.
If they binged it,
If they're still
they know
listening.
it better than I do. That's funny, because I forgot that was the name of it. And then, so when my mom got it for me, it was like, this is a fun thing that people
fresh.
like kick around.
Yeah.
But we didn't know it was a sport. Ugh. Mind blown. This is
fun.
also crazy.
You know, you learn stuff in this podcast.
You do sometimes. It's crazy.
Yeah. Speaking of, I'm gonna go first.
Okay. Okay.
Because as the winner,
You won.
that's what happens. You get to go first.
Enjoy. Enjoy your firstness,
Thank you. Let's get into it.
please.
Also, it's good to be back recording. I always enjoy recording in person. With you.
It's always
way-
nice to
way
be in
better.
person. Yeah.
Okay, now it's time. Let me read you this report that came out of the U.S. Embassy in Havana, Cuba, 2016. U.S. diplomats. Wait, do your best, like breaking news music. U.S. diplomats based here in Havana said they began to experience these really strange symptoms, often at night, sometimes when they were in bed, asleep. The symptoms include hearing strange sounds, headaches, nausea, vertigo, confusion, and a feeling of heat or pressure. I gotta adjust a little bit and make it more intense.
Yeah, I had to
faded
stop
out.
doing the music.
No, you
because-
faded out.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's how I interpreted it.
I couldn't focus on the music and listen at the same time.
The sound is a common experience reported by dozens of Americans stricken overseas. So, did you get any of that?
I gotta be honest, it was all so fun. There were reports of like sickness and nausea.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if we're
Unexplained.
honest, that's all I got.
That's fine.
The rest of this was just a novelty experience.
That's okay. So this unexplained sickness came to be known as Havana syndrome,
Okay.
and eventually there was one diplomat who was experiencing Havana syndrome. He was able to record the sound that people were hearing
Uh-huh.
and show proof that the strange sound wasn't just in people's heads; it was real. So here's what it sounds like.
What?
Let me pull this audio up.
This is royalty free, maybe. I'm sure it's fine.
Maybe.
If you own this sound, please let it be in this podcast.
No, we're not. We'll be fine. Trust me.
Okay.
Here we go.
Did you make it yourself? Ooh. I don't love that. I feel nauseous. Maybe
So we'll have to. I hope that sounds okay in the mic.
that was not mic feedback. In case you're curious,
No, that was the
something-
direct. Here, I'll keep playing it.
No,
Enjoy. Okay. So that's that.
it sounds like one of those tests to see what age your ears are,
Yeah, it's horrible.
frequency wise.
So the State Department claimed it was most likely a directed pulsed radio frequency energy,
Ugh. That
which
sounds like aliens.
I think is fancy way of saying microwaves. Microwave gun.
No.
And so they thought this was like a targeted beam of microwaves being shot into these diplomats' houses,
Yeah.
some sort of weapon. And after the noise was analyzed more, the data pointed to one main cause. The Indies short-tailed cricket.
Oh,
Think about that.
It's an animal.
It's an animal. It's very likely the strange sound that you just heard was at least in part due to bugs.
What?
These insects. So to what us sounds like a weapon from a foreign country used to attack diplomats is sweet, sweet music to these little insects.
Oh, I am invested.
So let's try and break down, understand the music of the bugs.
The bug. That's the topic?
Bug music.
I'm into this.
Listen to this. I got so into this. Entomologist is somebody who studies bugs.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go to school to be an entomologist after learning about this.
Out of
it's
pure
so
fascination.
Cool. I'm not really, but it's very cool.
If you're an entomologist and you listen, hit us up. We have questions.
Oh, yeah. We have more questions now than before. More questions now than ever.
We need you.
So we're kind of just going to talk about bug music, how it works. We're breaking it all down because really the more I got into it, the deeper it goes, the more questions I have, which I think is a good thing, a good place to be, kind of going a little bit deeper.
Can I ask 2 questions that you don't have to answer yet?
Yeah.
Just initial thoughts, a little brain burst of things I thought of. 1, similar to bird music or no?
Bug music? Well, similar, but one
In
is
nature.
bugs and one is birds.
Okay. Yeah, I was wondering if there's like some, because bird music you find pleasant. Bug music, I'm never like, oh, that's nice.
Well, I mean, we're kind of just talking about how it works, not necessarily how people understand it. We will a little bit, I guess.
Okay.
Or like how people view it. But that's true. Why
Why is it
are bird songs
pleasant?
more pleasant? I don't know.
Have you ever experienced, probably doesn't happen quite as much in Montana, but you're closed off in your house and then you hear like a cricket and
Your
you're
clothes
like,
are off.
Your clothes are off. There's a cricket in here and I can't sleep or do anything else till I find it because it's being loud.
Sure.
Ever experienced that?
I don't know.
Or like a full frog?
Real quick, this could go on forever, but the house we were living at in Arizona for the last month and a half.
Yeah.
We're not at the house anymore, but we walked in and in the bedroom there's a little plant growing out from underneath the baseboards.
Oh,
Is that not hilarious? It was
that's
probably
so fun.
6-7 inches long, and I just let it grow. I was like, I'm not going to disturb it. Let's see how well it does.
Turns into a full tree.
And so, but it's nice because it's quiet.
Oh,
It
it's a
doesn't-
quiet plant.
Yeah, they don't make noise, so I slept just fine.
Didn't feel as invasive.
Anyway, that's my little anecdote about nature
That's
coming
so-
inside.
So good. So timely. A timely anecdote. Okay, continue.
Okay, let's move on. So there's a few methods different bugs use to create noises.
Yeah.
I'm going to use noises and music interchangeably because I'm choosing to think about it as music
Okay.
rather than noise.
I not all the way on board yet, but I'm willing to hear you out.
Okay, just to appreciate
Yeah.
how they do their thing. So there's 3 different methods. First, drum method.
Mm.
So cicadas make a sound by vibrating a membrane on their back called the timbal. So you can actually
That's fun.
these what are they called? Bug people. The bug people that study bugs,
Bug's life.
they actually will they'll just grab a cicada and open its wings up and you can see they have one on either side of its back.
Oh.
And it's a drum, so basically they're kind of hollow inside so they can resonate the noise.
That's cool.
And then the timbal vibrates.
Yeah.
And that's what makes the cicada noise.
Could you imagine
It's
if
wild.
we had something like that proportionally?
Proportionally, it probably would be the size of your head
Oh,
on your back.
that could be a deep sounding drum.
Maybe.
It's like, hey, Josiah.
So there's one. Drum method.
Love it.
Number 2, scraper method.
Perfect.
And you know what a Wiro is?
No.
Spelled Guiro.
Not how I would
It's
have
like a
guessed
little
it.
wood frog with ribs on its back, and you have a little wood stick, and you scrape
Oh,
it.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Pretty good. Almost as good as mine. And so this is kind of what crickets use, and they have, it's called stridulation.
Oh.
Well, the crickets or the grasshoppers rub their legs together. I've always thought that doesn't make any sense.
No, not even.
But I was looking more into crickets, and they use their wings.
Yeah.
And think about this. They, with the beautiful use of technology, they have cameras that can study the underside of cricket wings.
I
I also just love bug people now because they'll just sit there and watch a bug and take notes on things that I never would have thought possible, which you'll kind of learn more later. But you kind of you learn some cool things from the bug people.
You appreciate the bug folk.
I really do, really do. So the stridulation on the cricket's wings, it's like, so I have my hands out facing down, curved a little bit, and one hand is overlapping the other a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of how the cricket's wings look. And then they kind of do this. So you cross your hands a little bit. The fingers cross over.
Yeah.
And so on the underside of the top wing, there's all these little ribs. It's like a comb.
Mm-hmm.
Or I think the scraper's on the top side, so that's just like a straight little...
Just a thing.
Straight piece.
Yep.
And then on the bottom one, they have like a little cone.
So
like little ridges. So the same principle as the Wiro.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, and so that's how they make the noise. And there's like, I don't know, 100, 200 little ridges on one wing.
What?
And so I still don't quite understand it, but they also can use their body to kind of resonate the noise. Exactly. You've got it figured out. So that's the scraper method. You can do that. I kind of was like, if you do that with your fingernails,
oh,
that's, I think, a similar principle.
you have to have fingernails.
You do. You don't have any.
Not really.
You rip them all out?
I just rip them. I could use like my knuckles.
There you go.
If you go fast enough, maybe there's a tone.
So that's that. That's the second method, scraper method.
Scraper.
Third method, accordion method.
I'm very excited about this.
So
Tell me it's like a millipede and just as the body like sucks up.
yeah, if you listen close, if you put a millipede in your ear.
That's so weird.
No, so insects breathe through holes in their bodies called spiracles.
Wouldn't
So
have guessed
rather than a nostril or a mouthpiece,
I use them sparacles.
they use them spiracles. And they can force air out of these breathing holes to create a hissing sound. That's actually pretty close.
Really?
Yeah, so that's what the Madagascan hissing cockroach does. I've got a sound for them too.
I am so good at bug music. You have no idea.
Yeah, I mean, oh, where is it? This one, maybe?
You came prepared with noises and
Oh, here we go.
resources.
Here
This
we go.
is fun.
Yeah. Hear that? How's
Yeah.
that looking? The level's looking good?
Levels looking good.
It's like a little... Imagine a
You know-
cockroach coming at you making that noise.
First of all, terrifying. Second of all, you want to know something that makes the exact same noise that's equally stressful? You're trying to put the valve on your bike tire to pump it
Oh.
up, and you're like, gotta get it on there before it lets all the
Before
air
you
out, and
lose-
it's going.
Before I lose all the progress I just made.
Yeah, same thing with like filling up a car's tires.
That's true. Same principle,
We're
too.
losing it.
Same principle.
Very interesting.
So basically what we're saying is a cockroach is a bike tire. And a cricket is a wooden frog.
Take that to the bank.
Okay. And I'm done with my top.
Plant that beneath the floorboards of your house, your temporary
Oh,
house.
little Edward, what's his name?
Scissorhands?
No. The poet?
I don't know.
Scary poet?
Oh, Alan Poe.
Edgar Allan Poe, not
Mr.
Edward.
Poe himself.
Edgar Allan Poe reference. Okay, let's keep going. Do bugs have ears? Yes or no?
I just took a big sip of water. Great timing. I'm going to say yes. And the reason, can I share my reasoning?
Sure.
Here's my reasoning. They're making all these noises for a reason. Usually it's a social, like if a mating call or a predatory.
Yeah,
And so you have to be able to also hear it.
that makes sense
That's
to
my
me.
guess. Is that the correct answer?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so it turns out all you need to create an ear is 3 things. We're learning all sorts of things about
Seriously,
sound today.
You're taking me on a journey.
There's one thing I wanted to ask you about later too, so we'll get to that. So you might need to have some input because you know about sound. So the first thing you need is some kind of empty chamber. The second thing you need is a membrane to stretch across the chamber to catch vibrations.
Mm-hmm. Catch the vibes.
Catch the vibes,
That's
brah.
why if I start a band, it's going to be called Membrane
Oh my,
Vibe Catcher.
that's
Subtitle.
really good.
Just thought of that just now.
Wow.
Okay, continue.
Oh, bug themed. Nope, ear themed.
Ear thing.
And you also need a neuron that's hooked up to it to process the vibrations.
Sure. Got it.
Understand what's going on.
Exactly. Got to
So if you got those 3 things, you basically got an ear. So in that sense of the word ear, bugs have ears. However,
Oh, it's different.
crickets have them on their legs.
Oh, I kind of don't like that.
Praying mantises have one on their thorax.
Nice.
Butterflies have them at the base of their wings. And the hawk... Oh, are you just doing like sound design for me?
Yeah,
I kind of love that.
I'm just doing. Yeah. Why have we been talking? We used to back in the day. We were like, we should get like a soundboard, and we
Yeah,
could
do
just
sound
throw
effects.
in.
No need.
I'll just do them.
Hawk moth has one on its mouth part.
Interesting. Wait,
Think about that.
how
Eats and listens at the
Interesting.
same time.
fascinating? Oh man, if you had an issue with like smacking while eating,
You're your own
about-
worst enemy.
exactly, you'd be devastated.
You'd figure it out pretty quick.
You'd have to just be okay with it.
How good would that be, though? All of society, smacking noises would be gone. Don't you think?
That'd be amazing. Best case scenario.
Well, I guess you do have ears pretty close to your mouth right now, and there's still lots of smacking.
That's true.
So
We got to get them further away. If I could choose, I would have put ears on my shoulders.
further away from your mouth.
Yep.
I probably would have went with my knees. Maybe hands.
So if you put them on your okay. Last thing, then I'll let you continue topic. If you put ears on your knees, and you, like picture, you would. I'm trying to decide whether or not I want to say this. If you get sweaty, you would hear like the weird little suction of the back of your leg as you like walked.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
You know, the little glisten noise.
Yep. That's nasty.
I think I'd
Let's
rather.
be glad for the placement of our ears.
Yeah, I'm satisfied with my ear placement.
Okay. That's good. Me too. So why do bugs even make music in the first place?
I took some guesses earlier.
You did.
How'd I do?
Pretty good. Number one reason, attract mates. You got that
The
part.
standard.
Yeah. So when they're making their noises, most of the time, that's why they do it. Crickets, cicadas, and katydids are some of the loudest and most common noisemakers.
You say katydid like it's a word I've heard in my life.
You've never heard of a katydid?
A katydid? No.
You've never even heard of it?
I don't think I've heard that word.
That's like a cricket or a grasshopper.
Oh.
I don't know if we have them around here.
Okay.
Maybe
Maybe that's
we
why.
do.
I've heard cicada a lot.
Yeah. Have you experienced a cicada?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Throwback to our fly fishing episode. My dad's really into fly fishing.
Yeah.
He's always like, yeah, it's cicada season or
Yeah.
stuff. He's Steph, you know, you get it.
Stuff. Bug stuff.
Bug stuff, you get it.
You're a bug people. So most often it's the males who make noise.
Okay.
And they'll call out to the females and say, come over here. I'm super hot. You know it. I know it.
I got it going on. You get it.
Yeah. So the females normally don't make a noise because the noise also attracts a predator.
Can't have that.
So you don't want to call a predator over to you while you're trying to give birth.
Yeah,
And the male's just kind of going around,
they're existing.
mating, running away from predators, and then dying.
Mm-hmm. A bug's life.
A Bug's Life. Explain a film title badly. So some females do make a response sound, sort of like a duet, a call and response. cicada females will make a clicking noise with their wings. They'll just like clap their wings together. And so that if a male is screaming nearby, she can say, "Hey, I'm here.
Hey,
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 right
over here." I'm going to start doing that. That'll be whenever I have kids someday. That's how I'll get their attention in the grocery store. Hey.
And you can actually call a male cicada, maybe even control it by imitating the noise a female will make.
That is fascinating.
So if you find a cicada, you can kind of snap in one direction and it'll start going that way. You can snap the other direction and it'll start going that way. And if you kind of snap, they'll jump to you. So basically you can control them. They're so in the heat of passion, they'll do whatever you want.
Ant-Man?
Like you can click here, they'll go here, click here, they'll go there.
Dad, you hearing this?
It's Ant-Man. But cicadas. Which, I don't know, pretty nasty bugs, but that's okay.
Not great.
I also got a cicada noise. They are kind of the notorious loud ones.
Yeah.
If you're not aware, that's what they sound like.
I don't think I could make that one. Nice.
Yeah.
We both tried in case you couldn't distinguish our...
What was real and what was not.
Yeah.
So that's number one reason, attract mates. Number two,
Yep.
defense mechanism.
Of course.
Kind of say, hey, I'm huge, even though they're really not. Sound bigger than they are. It's like, you don't want to mess with me. Listen to the sound I'm making.
Could you...
It's like a guy in the street screaming. You're like, yeah, I don't want to mess with that guy.
Oh, that's a
what you're
good...
doing. Yeah.
That's a good comparison. Because I was going to say, could you imagine doing that as humans? Or just even like,
Oh.
hey,
Watch out.
look how loud I can make this noise.
I'm screaming.
I'm a big dude. But yeah,
s-
screaming makes more
yeah.
sense.
So bullet ants make angry kissing noises.
Of course.
Wasps,
I'd love to hear that. Do you have
Wasps
that noise?
actually squeal. I don't have that one.
That's okay.
You can find it though.
Okay.
Wasps squeal when irritated. The cracker butterfly makes a cracking noise with its wings. They don't really know why it does that, but it does.
Gotta stop you real fast because it's relative. I saw.
The cracker butterfly?
No, maybe. I don't know what it looks like. But I saw the prettiest butterfly walking home from the coffee shop today. And I was like, wow, I feel like I haven't just seen a butterfly. I'm like, what a peaceful bug. It was bright yellow. And
Butterflies are overrated, I have to say.
what?
That's me.
It looked so elegant and was just slowly moving. And I was like, that is a peaceful thing
Yeah.
in the bugs world.
They're cool, but they're so goofy. Do you ever think they're kind of described as pretty, but if you ever just watch one fly, they're just complete goobers. Like just flapping with all their might and they just barely get anywhere. They're so funny.
Push!
It's like,
Push,
yeah,
Jerry! We
I
gotta
know.
get to the tree!
They're such goobers.
I've never thought of...
Next time you watch one,
I've never thought of a butterfly as like something that's like like physically exerting to the its peak effort. Come on, 5 more.
yeah, moths are my least favorite insect.
I think I could. Wait,
I
really?
hate them.
I think
I'd
would
rather
disagree.
I'd rather take care of a spider or be with a spider than be with a moth.
There's
True
a
story.
spider that hung out in our stairwell for a while.
Oh, just
And-
what's up?
Yeah, I just decided not to kill it because it just stayed in the one spot. And
Yeah.
so I'd just be like,
You're
"What's up,
here.
dude?
It's there. It's fine.
Yeah, don't jump on me, and we got no issues."
It's like this joke I heard on the news. They're talking about shark infested waters, and then the shark's like, "I literally live here."
This is my home. You're infesting. That's funny.
Anyway, so these bugs are trying to make music or noise to convince predators that they're scary. And this is interesting. There's some tiger moths that can jam a bat's echolocation system
That's very cool.
by emitting squeaks of their own, which kind of throws off the echolocation, and so they're harder
That's
to catch.
very cool.
Isn't that cool?
Reminds me of every sci-fi movie where there's like, we gotta reverse the polarity
Jam
and
it.
cancel out the frequency.
Jam it back.
Jam their signals.
Basically.
So one, I promise. I don't promise. I'll try to stop doing
okay.
this.
No
I have
need.
one more comment to make.
Say it.
You said they make music to let predators know.
It's like metal.
Hey Jude, too big for you.
No, it's just like scary music.
Oh yeah. Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah.
Jason Bourne making his own music to scare
Oh.
off the bad guys.
Or like a Kronk situation.
Yeah, exactly.
Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. Yeah. Your own theme song.
Okay, continue.
That's what the tiger moth does. The third reason bugs make music / noise:
Okay, this is one I haven't guessed.
communicate.
Oh.
Communicate with each other.
That's fun.
The American burying beetle will squeak when taking care of their babies underground.
Okay.
Nobody knows why, but that's
they do
something
it.
they do. There's no predators around. They've already found their mate.
So it's
There's
just some
kind
other
of
reason.
communication
That's fascinating.
squeakle.
A little bit of a squeakle.
And I want to do an entire episode on bees at some point. Have like a beekeeper on. I seriously might do that.
That
at
would
some-
be
one of
really
these
cool.
days. Bees are. I love bees.
If we're in the studio and you bring in someone
Come on in.
like with a full,
I got a hive here. Welcome.
it's like I'd be concerned but stoked.
Well, it's not my house.
Yeah. Hey, just swing on by.
You're just renting, right?
Yeah, that's fine.
So a queen bee makes noises to communicate with the rest of the hive as well. It's called pipping, and it's also called tooting.
Who gets?
There's also quacking. I think these are 3 different noises, but they're pretty similar. They might be the same. But have you ever heard of a tooting bee?
Nope.
Now you have.
Never would have guessed it.
I actually got a sound of this one. This one's pretty fun.
That was me. Not
This
the
is
phone.
a queen bee.
Huh.
Yeah?
I'm impressed with whatever audio person, however they like just got that, because you can hear the buzzing in the background. But
Yeah. How do they single it
how
out?
do they distinguish?
You can actually find it. And here's why they do that. So if there's 2 virgin queen bees
Mm-hmm.
in the same area, same hive, they will use this sound. They'll both make this sound as like a call to arms, an attack trumpet, basically. Yeah.
Come on, team.
So they'll call their little local loyal male bees to come with them and kill the rival queen.
What
So
a
it's bees are crazy.
what a
man.
fascinating culture.
So so it's like if knights played a trumpet as they're about to go into a jousting match.
That would be cool.
It's wild.
I miss face-offs and showdowns.
I miss
Wish
yeah.
we had more of those.
standoffs in the middle of the street.
Exactly.
One guy leaves alive, one guy leaves dead.
I miss that. Maybe I don't.
Miss that so much. So good. Yeah, so that's kind of some of the reasonings they make their noises.
Okay.
They can also use different methods to alter their sound.
Mm.
So they can amplify the volume and pitch of their music by changing the shape of their body cavity or body parts.
That's very interesting.
Kind of. So sometimes you might want to make a higher pitched noise
Yeah.
to kind of cut through the rest of the bugs and the frogs and
Yeah.
what have you. But also low frequencies travel further, so insects can do things to change that to get their sound out
Oh.
even further.
Yeah, we're going for distance, not quality right now.
Kind of.
Yeah.
And this is one of my probably my favorite fact that I've learned. And the reason why I want to be a bug people. So there's this thing called a baffle.
Okay.
So so there's these crickets. They found that it's more the smaller crickets that are not as big and as loud.
Yeah.
They'll find a big leaf. They will crawl towards the middle of it. They'll cut a hole in it. They'll just bite
Just
a little
like that.
hole.
Exactly like that.
Usually, always, it's been observed on the first try. They make it the right size. They'll, when you're at the fair and there's like a little cutout you can stick your face in.
Yeah.
So they kind of do that, where they stick half of their body, but their front legs are through the hole also.
So they amplify their whole bodies.
And then they stick their wings up so it's flush with the leaf.
Yeah.
Does that making sense?
Yep, I think so.
So half of them is out one end, half is the other out the other.
Yep.
And this is where I need your help.
Okay.
So, do you know how noise cancellation works?
Loosely.
Okay.
There's,
Tell me.
from my like active noise cancellation.
Or like why, yeah, what's the basic reason why it works? I
So-
do know the answer to this, but
So I believe Oh, you do know the answer?
Yeah.
So you can correct me if I'm wrong, because I
Oh,
might
well, I mean, based on the little research I did, yeah.
I might be wrong, but I believe that frequencies have their anti-frequencies,
Yes.
in that there's a different frequency that when played with one frequency
Mm-hmm.
would cancel them out. You run into it a lot with when you're miking stuff. You have to be careful sometimes
Yeah.
for live things because
Okay.
the mics can cancel themselves out. The polarity can reverse, like the wave of sound can cancel, and then you lose your. It's very interesting.
So, yeah, so you have like you have the wave, the sound wave.
Yeah.
And then if the peak of one sound wave matches the valley of another sound wave, then it kind of cancels out.
It zeroes out.
Yeah.
So your reverse, literally waves in opposite
Yeah.
to cancel out, and that's how they do so sound canceling headphones have a mic that take the frequency and then really quick will like interject the
Yeah, so
opposite.
we'll do the opposite. Yeah. I still don't quite understand it, but that's
Me either.
it's like flight. Like I know the basic principles of
Yeah.
like lift on a wing, but it makes zero sense to me.
The theory is there, but
Yeah.
in reality, it's like,
Yeah.
what? Yeah.
So anyway, that's what they'll do to prevent noise cancellation. And they have and so I read that the sound comes off of one side of their wing or it comes off like the top and the bottom, and that will kind of cancel itself out a little bit. So by using the baffle, it makes it louder, and they've observed it. It makes it between 1.8 and 3 times as loud.
That is super
Isn't that
cool.
cool?
That's so
And
fascinating.
So these bugs use these leaves as a tool, and I believe in all the times they've observed this, it's typically smaller bugs. It's typically first try they make the hole the right size.
Yeah.
And you can actually go find recordings where they record before the baffle and after, and you can definitely hear a difference.
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah. And so
is-
isn't that cool?
That's
one of my favorite
really,
things.
really cool. Holy cow.
Makes me excited about bugs.
You're a bug people
See,
now.
this is
Through
like
and
something
through.
you would never know about just if you're not a bug person,
No.
right? Because you have to just sit and just watch a bug.
And just like, why'd it just do that?
I know.
It's louder now. Wait a sec.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a
So you
slow
really
discovery.
gotta be open minded, which kind of is something I learned, just to be more appreciative of how intricate things are that might not seem that way.
Sure.
Um,
Like the plant next to you that I'm accidentally killing.
yeah,
Yeah. And the one
it's fine.
I'm sure.
It'll bounce back.
I just watered it I'm sure it's fine.
Yeah, man,
I forgot about it for a couple months.
it's fine. Yeah, outside is good.
Yeah.
It'll bounce back. So anyway, there's also kind of final fact. There's bugs that have lost their ability to make music.
That's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Heart-wrenching.
To end it on a sad note. So in Hawaii, there are an invasive wasp species that prey on crickets.
Ugh.
So the crickets are pretty easy to find because they're just screaming all the time.
They're like, hi!
Make so much dang noise.
Yeah. Ah! I hope I don't die today!
And the wasps are kind of just picking them off.
Yeah.
The ones that are loudest.
Yep.
Loudest. And so the wasps go find a cricket, birth their babies in the dead cricket, and then
That's messed
the
up.
larvae hatch and emerge from the empty shell of the dead cricket.
That's messed up. And
that pretty
also
metal?
maybe beautiful. That's rock and roll right there.
So what's happened in the last 20 years is that crickets have kind of gone silent, they've observed. So the loud crickets are the first to be picked off,
Yep.
and the quiet ones have survived.
Yep.
So many of those crickets don't even have the right parts to make noise anymore.
Yeah.
And it's even been observed that some still rub their wings together to make noise, but just no sound
just-
comes out.
They're like,
But they're the ones that survive. So I thought that
Interesting.
was so interesting.
that is very interesting.
Yeah, and that was
Also, I think I'm okay with it. Generally, I don't love the sound of crickets.
okay.
It's just noisy.
I did read about something kind of the same principle as hygge, which we talked about a while
Oh, yeah.
ago, which is kind of like embracing winter and the coziness of winter,
Yeah.
and really leaning into the cozy part rather than the cloudy, dark gloominess of it, and getting excited about the coziness, the warmth, all that comes with the cold seasons. In
Sure.
Japan, the cherry blossom is a symbol of spring, and the cicada is the symbol of summer.
Oh, so
So
that's kind of like an
that.
exciting.
Right. So some people look at it like that, especially it sounds like in Japan, which I thought was kind of fun. Like, oh, maybe it's annoying to a lot of people, but some people are like, this means
Signifies.
summer. It's
We're
nostalgic. I enjoy it.
The cicadas are here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mom. So, yeah, while some people think it sounds like you're being attacked by foreign enemies with a microwave gun, it's all about perspective. So, yeah, I kind of was just reminded how much there is to be learned with even the small things, even the
Yeah.
bugs, just how intricate and complex they are, even though they just seem like nuisances. Yeah,
That's
so
very interesting.
I tend to forget how amazing just even the tiny things are.
Every
even the bugs
little
are.
thing is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Totally.
Even speaking of butterflies at the coffee shop earlier, I
Yeah.
was sitting there. I saw the biggest moth, literally this big.
Oh,
It was wild.
that's the size of a.
It was literally furry.
average apple.
Average apple? Yeah. If you took a thin slice of an apple, that was like,
Ooh.
it was crazy. It was
Ugh.
brown. It had like fur, and I had the little
Ooh, I don't-
mouth
Yeah.
unrolly. You know that thing?
Yep.
Where you blow at a party? Yeah, it had that thing
Yep.
on its. And it was kind of sad but hilarious because it was so windy. It was trying to like fly into the window to get out of the wind, and then the wind took it up, and it smacked it on the middle of the street,
Oh,
and then it bounced up and flew across the street. It was wild.
that guy's going through some things
I
today.
was like, I'd love to help you.
Yeah.
but
It
I think
was
you gotta
windy
figure
though.
Yeah, it was.
My hat was coming off.
I know.
It was that windy.
So
I tell you what.
that big moth with those huge wings had no chance. Anyway, he
No
probably is dead, but I loved enjoying him and looking at all his little parts in a not weird way. And that's what I got. That's the music of the bugs.
The music of the bugs. That's a fascinating topic.
I was into it.
Yeah.
I'm
Very
a bug
good.
people now.
You're a bug people. I don't know. I'm getting there. You convinced me. You gave me a greater appreciation than I previously had.
Good.
So there's that. While
Well,
I
you got-
played with
yeah.
my Tekra ball. My
Pretty fun.
What's the first word?
Sepak? Or
Sepak.
Sepak?
Sepek Tekra.
Yeah, something like that.
I'll just stick with Tekra.
Okay, that's probably. Oh, that's what they call it. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
You know what? That family. Speaking of that family,
Yeah.
when Abby and I were traveling, they were in the same country as me. I think
Couple
we were in
times?
Thailand and the Philippines at the same time.
Wow. You should have messaged them and been
They were
like, hey,
like-
do you want to play some Sepek Tekra?
Sepak-
Soon?
They're like,
Who are you?
okay,
Hey, heading out to look for the Wonder Plant if you guys want to join.
join. Come on.
A little throwback to a different episode.
Wolf and out knows.
Yeah. Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
Wolfed out
Wolfed out.
7777.
Yeah.
Nice, great.
That's all I got.
Fantastic topic. Very good. I
Thank you.
thought.
Vote for me.
Okay. While I pull up my notes for mine, why don't you give us a little intermission?
Okay. Today's podcast is brought to you by an item that is called beans. And so this is just your reminder to go buy beans.
Everyone
can
always
buy
forgets
them.
beans.
Yep, you can go buy them at just about any food store, grocery stores, health food stores even, local farmers market. You could probably get some beans. Beans can be healthy, and you can eat them, and they can last a long time if you're a prepper.
Thank you. 2 big beans. Big pharma, big
So
beans.
this episode is sponsored by Big Beans.
Big Beans Incorporated. Okay,
Thank
my
you.
notes are open.
Okay.
I'll get you out of this situation we started.
I was in a downward spiral.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a different direction than your topic.
Okay.
Okay. And I'm gonna move my mouse so I don't accidentally knock your iPad over. We've got a precarious setup here.
Always do.
Trying to video and record and, have our notes open. Turns out, in order to do a podcast the way we do it, you have to have like 7 devices each to make it work.
It costs $300,000.
Yeah, we're gonna need you to jump on our Patreon. We're in deep debt. So I kind of have to. Do you care if I
Scooch?
kind of angle away and
Scooch, yeah.
read and chat a
Do
little
what
bit?
you need to do.
Sorry,
I'll
everyone.
be
It's a makeshift situation since we're not in the studio as often anymore.
Yeah.
Okay, so picture this.
Mm-hmm.
You're playing basketball. You're outside in the middle of the city. I don't remember which city. Pittsburgh, maybe.
Okay.
You're just playing some ball. It's like a community center.
I'm in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, you're hanging out
I'm
as you
balling.
are. You're balling.
Inside or outside?
Let's say inside. I think
I'm
it was.
inside at the community center.
Yeah, I think this happened inside.
I'm in Pittsburgh.
You're having a hard day. You're having a hard time.
I'm having a hard time.
And you're just like, man, life's not going great. I'm struggling. I'm out here playing, but in general, just not doing great.
Trying to escape through basketball.
In walks.
Kobe.
This is unfactual, but I am adding some frill to the story to make it pop out.
In walks a butterfly.
In walks a man. This did happen, but the man was dressed in a sleek black suit. You know
How
the type.
sleek we talking?
The New York type where you see him and think that guy's on his way to do something important.
Oh, like, what do you mean by sleek? Are you thinking like his clothes
thinking-
look painted on, or he looks like a
No.
businessman?
I'm thinking businessman.
Oh, sleek, like
modern.
well put together.
Well put together. This guy, the type of guy that you see.
He
and
looks
is
like he's always freshly showered.
Exactly. Like, according to worldly standards, this is a successful dude.
Okay.
Pulls off his dark sunglasses that probably cost way more than they needed to. And he looks around, and you're just shooting hoops, right? You're playing, not having the greatest day. You're not even that good of a basketball player. He points at you, and he's like, hey, I have an opportunity for you if you're willing to accept
And I
it.
say, me?
Yeah, exactly. You say, what?
What?
You walk over, and you're like, what's this all about? I'm in the middle of my game. Does not have that accent.
I don't.
You don't have that accent.
I mean, people do, but I don't.
Exactly. You're like, what's this all about? Guy in the suit's like, I have an opportunity for you. How would you like to apply for a new reality TV show that I'm starting?
I say, let me think about it. Yes.
Exactly. You're like, I'm down in the dumps.
So he walks in straight to me. What is it about me?
You just stand out. We'll get to that.
The it factor.
You've got the it factor. They're more likely, this is the frill I'm adding a little bit. More likely, these guys were like around and were probably watching a lot of people, and maybe a few people were given the opportunity to apply. But for whatever reason, you piqued their interest, and they're like, hey, why don't you think about sending in an application? And you're like, you know what? Life's got me in the dumper. Got nothing else.
I'm sitting in the dumper.
I'm sitting in the dumper. Let's just apply. What could we lose?
Okay.
Fast forward. I don't know how long TV application processes go. Let's say it was 3 weeks.
Okay.
They get back to you, and they're like, hey, you're in. We want to bring you onto the show. We're starting to film in 2 months from now. Get to this location, blah, blah, blah. Signing contracts, setting things up. You're in. So your name, in case you're curious, is Matt Kennedy Gould.
I'm Matt Kennedy Gould. People call me MKG.
MKG. Yeah, we're going to say Matt because I'm not exactly percent sure how to pronounce his last name, so we're not going to say it again on this episode.
Ghoulie. People call me Ghoulie.
Hey, what it is, Ghoulie? What up? So your name's Matt. You've just been accepted on a game show. You are stoked.
And I'm 800 pounds.
Yeah, welcome to The Biggest Loser. No, you're like a younger, not super young, but not middle aged,
maybe
quite
like
yet.
190, 7 foot tall.
I would say, Matt, if you're listening, I don't take offense to this. I would say in general, you're like a standard average dude.
Okay.
You're not like a superstar.
You're like super ugly.
No, you're not super ugly, but
Okay.
you're not necessarily like
Just a cool
Tom
guy.
Cruise
Okay.
or
I'll embrace
Tom
it.
Holland, any
It's me,
Tom
Matt.
in the cinematic world.
I'm a slightly above average man.
Perfect. Let's get to the meat of the topic
Okay.
here. So it's just don't worry. Just how his phone went off. It's just a be real alert.
knows.
Everyone gets it. So you show up. You sign the paperwork. You show up. Man, there's a bunch of other people. I would say there's 12, around 12 to 15 other people
Okay.
at this location, and you're like meeting people. Oh man, the producers are out. There's cameramen all over the place. You're in this weird spot with brand new people, and you're like, this is it. I'm on a TV
in.
show. He doesn't walk. Excuse me. In rides a man in
On a butterfly.
fancy. He's on a butterfly. In rides a man on a bright white horse.
No.
Pulls up to the scene.
Is it the Old Spice Man?
Give it a similar vibe,
Okay.
but no. He rides in. You're standing in front of a mansion, and you're like, "What have I gotten myself into?" He rides in. He says, "Hey everyone, welcome to the brand
Hold
new."
up. I know this.
You do?
I think I do. Keep going.
Okay. I'm happy. If you do know it, I'm happy I got to it before you. It's interesting. Also, forgot to mention, the year's 2003.
I am about 6. No, I'm not 6.
You're not 6. It doesn't
20s.
matter. You're in your 20s.
Go on. I play basketball. My name's Matt.
Exactly. I was like, wait, you got your math right. Yeah, your name's Matt. He rides up on a white horse, and you're like, this is weird. This seems extravagant. Big mansion, guy rides in on a horse. He's like, hi, I'm the host of this brand new reality TV show called Lap of Luxury.
Yes.
You know it?
I think I do.
Yes! I'm so excited because this is just hilarious. Have you looked into it much?
Not a ton.
Okay, that's for the best.
Good.
And I'll explain why. You are now competing against all of these other people in the first season of this brand new show to win
I'm so excited.
$100,000.
No way.
Yeah.
This is life-changing.
Big money.
I'm going to give it my all.
You've been in the dumper, but now you're here to win.
I unlocked the door, opened it, I'm out of the dumper.
Exactly. $100,000 could change your life.
Back to the dumper, face to the world.
I love that.
T-shirt.
Here's the catch. There's one catch, and that's what makes this topic interesting. Every single person except for you is a paid actor.
Yes. I'm in. I've heard of this.
Yes. So the actual show, you're told.
It's about Matt. Me.
Yeah, that you're told that this show's called Lap of Luxury. The actual show is titled The Joe Schmo Show. And
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's hilarious.
Did I not read the paperwork that I had to sign? They're like, it's probably like 100 pages. Sign here, here, here. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, you're in the dumper. No time
Out
to
of the
read.
dumper.
So the way they set it all up, you absolutely full-heartedly believe this is a legit reality TV show.
Okay.
It is not.
Not.
So every single thing, the entire premise of the show is that the watcher knows that it's all faked. So basically the premise of the show is to laugh at you and
Schmo.
mock you as you walk through this reality
I love it.
TV show. So every last, like all of your other contestants, they're actors. They've been given life stories and attributes and stuff, and they are just here to move along the script of the show, and things are designed to happen to make the show interesting and to see how you specifically, Matt, will respond. Isn't that such an
I love
interesting?
it. Yeah.
It's like a little bit psychological torture.
No, he signed something. He's fine.
He signed, yeah.
It's me.
It's
I'm
not
Matt.
psychological.
I'm fine.
Yeah.
I'll bounce back.
You're in here to make your $100,000. Maybe the show's fake. Who knows what you get? And I just think that this is so hilarious. So, a little bit more about the show. Takes place in a mansion.
Okay.
It is, for all general purposes, a ripoff of your average reality show.
Bachelorette.
Yeah. So, giant mansion, beautiful. There's so many things that are like Survivor-like. So, like, they form alliances.
Okay.
And you have to get rid of people and kick them out of the mansion. But there's things that you can have that give you immunity. So you have tribal councils, which they call something different. And you
Okay,
have
yeah.
immunity necklaces,
Yeah.
which are called something different.
Yeah.
But essentially,
we're talking Survivor terms in Joe Schmo
yeah,
places.
you nailed it.
Translation.
So it's like I don't know. The first red flag for him should have been, you're calling this a brand new reality show, but this is the same as every other reality show in existence. The one thing they had going for him at the time is reality TV was newer on the block.
I was going to say, this is like,
This is early.
yeah, this is
Yeah.
cutting edge.
So this would have been around the time that Survivor was first exploding.
Oh, okay.
So a lot of
So
it
it makes sense that people would want to jump on board and do the same thing.
Yeah, so they snuck in at a time when probably a lot of people were considering starting shows,
Right,
new
right.
shows and stuff. So Survivor style, it's in a big mansion. Every contestant, except you, of course, is given a stereotype of a reality TV show that they are to play.
Really?
Yeah. So this is where, before we go any further, before you do any Googling, any of you listeners or any watching, this is where I have to stop the topic and say, as a Learn Me Something host, do not actually go watch this TV show.
Oh.
It is, I have not watched any of
Okay.
it except the final reveal at the end.
Okay.
But I've read like summaries and stuff of each episode in preparation. Not an appropriate show. This is reality TV at its very worst.
Lots of raunchy no-no
Exactly.
scenes.
So I have to say that my topic is a result of the concept of the show and
Not endorsing the show.
exactly.
Got it.
So it's about the concept and it's about your character specifically.
Okay.
And so
Disclaimer made.
so I'm here to present to you the PG version of this show.
So we don't have to watch it.
Exactly.
Thank you.
I did the work of knowing what actually happened in the show so that none of you have. And it's not horrible. It's just
Yeah, yeah.
some stuff is like overly, I don't know. Picture trash TV,
Got it.
trash reality TV.
Yep.
And
Times 2?
yeah.
2.5.
So since this is all scripted, everything that happens is
Oh.
hyperbolic.
And it's made to be
Exactly.
for
Yeah.
trash TV.
So picture the trash that would happen in your average show, especially in that time,
Yeah.
and make it 4 times worse because they're purposefully pushing it to the edge
'Cause
to
they
see
can.
how
Right.
Matt will react.
Right.
Again, kind of psychological torture.
It's like Stanford Prison Experiment, but
Yeah.
game showified.
Yeah. So I'll preface before we go any further that I'm purposefully going to leave out some aspects of the show in
Okay.
order to present a PG version
Got
of
it.
this fun topic. But so some of the stereotypes are there's a jerk, like just a mean dude,
Yeah, yeah.
mean to everyone. There's a psychologist who's like a doctor, highly intelligent. There's a schemer.
Constance, that's her name. Brad
Constance.
is the jerk.
Brett. Oh, you're naming him?
Yeah, I know them.
Oh yeah, because
And
you're in the
Matt.
show.
Yep.
Sorry, keep forgetting Matt. So there's a schemer, like the strategist.
Stephen,
Okay, there's a veteran, older guy,
Paulie,
Paulie. Okay.
Paulie,
There's just like a good friend, like a good dude.
Yeah.
Good friend.
Smith.
Yeah. Then I do have to mention there is like a couple attractive younger female crowd because that'll be a little important. Darcy. It's the 2000s. Maybe there's a Darcy. Delinda.
With a G.
Yeah, and so the host. So this is the first phase of the absurdity of this show is that the host rides in on a horse. So the whole thing is designed to just be absolutely absurd and obnoxious.
Over the top.
Yeah, and so right off the bat, you're like, man, this is a wild show. That you're on.
I'm like, man, this is a wild show. I'm Matt, and I play basketball. Don't know what I'm doing here, but I'm out of the dumper.
Out of the dumper. So there are other things that relate to Survivor. A
Okay.
big Survivor kick. So
Yeah, you are.
I'll have to relate a little
Always
bit.
have been.
Yeah, so you've got constant social situations that you're dealing with. There's a lot of challenges that he has to do. There's like some twists in the game that he has to overcome and stuff. All specifically designed to put you in really weird situations so that the audience at home can laugh at you and mock you.
Yes.
And so, oh yeah, last little detail about this that's kind of interesting. So every morning, you do a daily interview. So
Yeah.
they take you away, put you in front of the camera, and you talk about
Yeah.
how things are going. Every TV show, every reality show has something similar.
Right.
So they purposefully take you away every morning, and everyone else, all the contestants, the producers and stuff, they go hang out in a trailer, like a production trailer, and they plan out the day. It's an interesting show because you can only script it so much because there's
Depending
one
on
person.
what happens.
Yeah, there's one person that can add twists in and like make things unpredictable. So they have to meet up and be like, okay, here's the situation.
Here's what he said. Here's the type of guy he is.
Exactly.
So they're kind of the researchers and actors.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool.
And so then they're like, okay, we've got a general plan for the day. Here's what we want to happen. And then they prepare the actors. Like, you might have to be willing to pivot on the spot if he does something unpredictable.
Right.
Part of the fascination of the show. There's two main issues. I'll name the first, and then the second main issue is really the girth of this topic. The first issue is that the actors, from what I've read, had a really hard time keeping their own story straight because things had to change so constant.
Sure.
And so like they kept mixing up their backstories, where they were from, how many siblings they had, what they do. They kept messing up in the challenges, like certain things were supposed to be rigged that they would keep messing up.
One person was supposed...
Whoa. Josiah's dying.
I'm fine.
Okay.
I'm fine.
Was that a scream to scare off predators?
Yeah, I heard something.
Thought just in case.
No, my wife was really far away, and I just wanted to make sure she heard me.
Hey, you there?
I love you!
Cool.
Anyway.
I lost my train of thought with that.
They were supposed to rig games and stuff, but then
Yeah.
a guy would lose who was supposed to win, all that type of stuff.
So essentially they did a horrible job. Like there were some... Again, we get into the weeds of things I don't want to talk about because there's something like some games and stuff that weren't super appropriate.
Okay.
Nothing was totally horrible, but like
You don't want to endorse it.
I don't want to endorse it. Don't look it up, please. Just please.
I'm looking it up right now. Oh my gosh, don't look this up.
So one of the interesting thing is they all had roommates. And so when they had roommates, they had to share a bed, and so just like weird quirks that they add to make the social situations odder. But some of the rewards were like one of the people he had to share with. I think if I remember right, there were like 4 people that all had to share a king size bed or something. In his specific room, and then there were other rooms and stuff. I think one of the rewards was that you were able to like sleep on your own in your own room.
Yeah.
So that was like you get to go off by yourself and have like a room to yourself for a little bit instead of having roommates. And so they're just weird. Basically, they were just trying random reality show stuff because they could.
Yeah, why not?
So that was issue number 1, and there were a couple moments. I did watch a clip that was a behind the scenes. There was a moment where the actors messed something up bad enough that the people that were like watching the screens and directing stuff behind the scenes, they were all like, "Oh, he figured it out." And it was like,
oh, and it's over.
You can watch this moment of like, we just lost our whole show because he just figured it out, and there's nothing we can do now.
There's not enough content, so we lost. Like, it's a big waste of money.
Yeah, and they're seriously like heartbroken. The hilarious thing is Matt never once catches on. He interviews at the end and was like, the whole time I just thought this was like the weirdest reality show ever. But he was just like, yep, that's a reality show thing.
That's what happens.
But this is something that makes the topic really fun. The main issue, the big issue that the show had, which is just so wholesome. It's this trashy, horrible show, but the biggest issue they had is that Matt was too good of a guy. Like, he was such a good guy. He couldn't be corrupted, and he was so good that the actors and the producers started to feel bad to the point where they were like, we have to change things. And the whole purpose of the show, you're Matt, right?
Yeah.
The whole purpose of the show is for us as the audience to laugh at you as you handle just the oddest situations and just mock you, laugh, and enjoy an evening at your expense. But they found that no one could laugh at or mock Matt because he was such a good guy.
Oh, they were cheering for him.
Yeah, eventually, like, I think a couple episodes into the show, they had to pivot the entire show to be like a celebration of you
Oh.
because they knew they would lose the show and the viewership
Yeah. They're like, these
if
people
they
are
tried to mock you
horrible
anymore.
to my friend Matt.
Exactly. So I do have I just think it's what a good guy. I just think that's so fun.
What do you do? Tell me.
So I do have this my main topic here. I
Okay.
read the summary. I read a bunch of different articles and I read recaps of each episode so that I could present the things that were funny and stuff. So here are some of the highlight Matt moments. First of all, he handled everything so genuine. Like he was just so fully himself
Yeah.
and so genuinely there.
Yeah.
Like he wasn't really trying to win it. He wasn't trying to do anything crazy or be like a certain thing. He was just like himself. He was just like a funny, classy dude. And he was constantly part of the show was people had to do extreme things so that they could see how he would adapt to it. But he almost always took the approach of like, "Hey, can we talk?" And he would like go. He's like, I just want to let you know that you've been saying some things that have been making people mad, and I want you to know for your sake that people are a little upset with you right now. So maybe just watch the way you're talking with people or watch the way you're behaving. Like
He's a good communicator.
totally, yeah, it's just like ruining the TV show because he's just so kind. And he did have his moments where
Sure.
crazy things happened
sure,
and stuff,
sure.
but in general, it's so funny. So after the first night, they do the first big vote off, and he votes for this girl that does not get sent home. So for whatever reason, the way they scripted it, his vote doesn't win, and he feels so bad, like so much guilt the next day that he takes her aside. He's like, "Hey, can we talk for a second?" And he's like, "I just need you to know that I am so sorry. That I need you to know it was in secret, but you need to know that I voted for you, and it's eating me up inside, and I just needed to tell you." And so then this is one of the moments where the actress has to pivot.
Yeah.
And so she's like pretending to be mad for a little bit, and then she's like, "Okay, well, if we're going to continue in this game, I need you to pinky promise me that you will not vote for me again." And he doesn't. He's like, "You have my word. I will never vote for you again." It's just like...
And then the next day they're like, hey, here's what happened.
Let's see. Yeah, so...
And
yeah,
then re-brainstorm. It's all different.
let's switch up the whole script. And also, how fun would it be if they made a more clean version of this? How fun would it be to be a producer on this show? Because you're like live scripting. You're like, all right, here's...
know.
It's like borderline
Dream
improv.
come true. Yeah.
You're
for
like,
some
all right,
people.
here's this, he did this and this and this. How can we spin it in a way that would make it really
Yeah.
interesting?
On the fly.
Yeah. And so it's so interesting. He does so much funny stuff. The same episode that he apologizes to that girl, they do a challenge, and it's like a guys versus girls challenge, and whichever side loses has to clean the entire mansion. And I think they had to do it wearing like silly costumes or something. But it was designed for the guys to lose. And so the guys do lose. Matt, like, he couldn't control it enough to win it. But they realized he wasn't like trying very hard.
Oh.
And they lose. And so then they were like, then they like asked him, they're like, why didn't you try harder? And he was like, you know what? I just felt like it would have been the nice thing to do to clean the mansion. And like,
He's like, I wanted to.
Yeah, literally. He said, I wanted to do it to help out. So really, this isn't much of like a punishment for me.
And is this kind of when they thought he was figuring it out? Because he kind of was just trying to play back against them, like push back, like do the opposite of what they wanted.
It was probably a constant battle of like, oh man, has he figured it out?
Yeah.
Because also the actors were messing up so often.
Sure.
Like there was a guess who this item belongs to type of game, and the actors couldn't remember which items belonged to them. So the producer had to do this whole spin and be like, okay, well, that guy wasn't wearing his contacts, so he just got confused. So like trying to like dig themselves out of a hole. It's all just one big lie. The whole show is a perfect example of if you lie once, you have to like
Keep
lie
lying.
more and more to keep it going.
Amen.
Yeah, and so then they one actress was an only child, but then at one point mentions her two brothers, and so then I think maybe that was one of the moments that he almost got it.
Mm-hmm.
So then they had to find a way to like backtrack that and stuff. There's some funny things that they are like, all right, here's a new story arc that we can run with and see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
So at one point, and this is mostly sad and like, oh, that was too mean to do to him. But at one point he develops a crush on one of the girls, one of the contestants. And so then they're like, this is perfect. So they create via the scripting and they let him, like someone sneaks these rumors to him and then someone else confirms it. Like all this back talk to create this storyline that there's actually a love triangle between him and this girl that he likes and the host of the show. And he like believes it. And so then they like run with that story for a while, and then they tell him the girl he likes has to break it to him. She literally says, I see you as like a best friend. I actually really love whatever the host's name is. And I read that he was like kind of heartbroken for a while. He's like genuinely building these real connections with people that aren't even real in the first place.
That's gotta be. Oh man, talk about psychological torture.
Seriously. So he's sad for a bit, but then shortly after he comes to acceptance, where he just, and this is just Matt being a grade A
Matt
guy,
being Matt.
top-notch character. He says, you know what? It actually makes sense, and I've accepted it now. The host, like I don't come from a super successful line or like a super successful background, and the host is clearly like really attractive, doing great things, has made it in like the entertainment industry, and he's just like it.
He's building his enemy up.
Exactly. He's like, you know what? It actually makes a lot more sense that she would end up with him because he's just the better guy.
She deserves better than me.
Yeah, and so then this is this is the point where all the actors and producers are starting to be like, oh, we've got a problem. First of all, we feel terrible that we're messing with this guy who's just amazing. And so the worst, they have a couple really bad days in a row on the producer team trying to write this story. The first is there was one guy that Matt had gotten really close with. Mm-hmm. He was like just really good friends. He really valued him being there. And so then they're like, let's get rid of the friend and see what we're going to vote the friend out and see what happens. And so they vote, pick what you think his name is.
Carson.
Sure. I think it was like Earl or Eric maybe, but we'll go with Carson.
Errol.
Aragorn. So Carson, they do this big, they call it eviction, not being voted out.
Okay.
So they do this big eviction, and Carson gets evicted, and Matt just like shuts down. Like think he's like weeping and crying for a long time, and the actors are genuinely like concerned. They're like, hey, are you okay? And he like through tears, they try to interview him and stuff, and through tears he's like, oh, let me see, I think I wrote the direct quote sometime. I didn't write the direct quote, but I wrote a paraphrase where he basically says like, people getting voted out and being betrayed for money is totally immoral. And this part's a direct quote. He's crying in an interview to the camera, just devastated. And he just looks at the camera and says, no amount of money is worth this.
Oh my god.
They just like broke his heart. He's like, and so the next morning is the morning that they send him to his morning interview, and he's still just like downcast. And they meet in their trailer, their production trailer, and they sit down. They're like, guys, we're gonna lose this guy. Like, he doesn't want to play anymore. We're gonna lose this guy completely. So this is the moment when they're officially like, we have to pivot. This guy's too good for us to just mock him. We have to, like, if we want this to be successful, we've got to spin it.
They bring the friend back.
They don't.
They bring him back, and then they bring the girl who was part of the love triangle.
Switches.
She's like, actually,
On
I've
second
realized I love you. And then an episode of building back relationships, and then they stage a fake murder. They kill both the friend and the girl. Literally, they think he thinks they died.
That they actually died.
Yeah, and then
Talk about psychology.
okay, what'd they do?
So, also, I want to. This is a funny side. They do all these games just to get them to do stuff. One of the things they do is a talent show, and they bring in. So the host is one of the judges, and then they bring in a contestant from Survivor, named Jerry.
Yeah.
And then they bring in like 2 other people, and all these people do their talents, and they're like the dumbest things. Like, I think someone performed something on a kazoo, and they just like rate them so high.
Yeah,
and they're
yeah,
like, that is so good.
That's so good. So
Everything,
talented.
everything that everyone does, they're doing the scorecard, and they're like, oh, that is so
I
good.
can't believe you're so talented people.
And then Matt does his, and he he beatboxes, and there's like zeros across the board, and he's just like, man, guess I'm just not a good beatboxer.
Was it good?
I didn't watch it.
Okay. I mean, probably not.
Probably, yeah.
I'm just slightly above average.
Exactly.
I play basketball.
You play basketball, and not even great, probably.
Yeah.
But so then, then the girl he was interested in, she does something. I can't remember what it was, but it was really bad. I think it was like a dance or something. It's just horrible. And everyone gives her a 0 too, except the host, who gives her like the top score. And so then Matt comes out on the show, and he points out in front of everyone, like, well, we need to remember that the host actually is like invested in this relationship with this girl. And all of them are like, Matt, what are you talking about? You have no idea what you're talking about. And it's just like, he just gets shut down. It's like
they're
socially,
gaslighting him.
Exactly. Socially, everything that you could just expect that would happen is not something that happens. So you're just so confused the whole show. Anyway, so it's the day after the vote. Carson's out. It's devastating.
I've been weeping all night.
Exactly. Weeping through the night. And so then they're like, we're going to pivot. If we're going to keep this guy on the show. And this is like 3 or 4 episode out of 8, I think.
Yep.
So they're like, we gotta fix
Figure
this.
something out.
We're going to do a reward challenge. Person who wins the reward gets an all expenses paid trip to some tropical island. And so what they do, this is perfect. We're going to rig it so that he absolutely wins. And then he'll get this vacation, and he'll be stoked.
Oh,
and his spirits
bring
will
him back.
be. Yeah.
Yeah.
The challenge, I don't know what the producers were thinking. The challenge is they all put on these sumo suits, and they go out in the dirt. It actually kind of looked like sandy, so I don't really know.
Go out to the dirt.
Yeah, they go out to the dirt.
Put these on, go to the dirt.
Exactly. So you're now in a full sumo suit. You know what I'm talking about?
Standing
like those
in the
inflatable.
Dirt. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Featured in The Office. And so then they're like, we're going to just, holy cow, I'm just now realizing The Office did a play off of this. They did this challenge in The Office when they all go out to the beach.
And you think they ripped it from the Joe Schmo show?
I think so. Because in the Joe Schmo show, they say, all right, you're gonna wrestle one-on-one. Whoever pushes the other to the ground wins. I think The Office just like took that as like a weird some people will make it, or like I don't know. Some people will get this weird little inside joke.
Okay. If someone's listening who's involved in The Office, let us know.
Yeah, if you're a producer of The
Angela?
Office and you're listening,
What's her name? The woman? Jenna?
Jenna.
Office ladies?
Office
they
gals?
listen.
They listen. They also have a podcast, so they listen as a supportive thing.
Well,
I'm sure.
yeah. I mean, we listen to all the podcasts.
We've-
And they listen to ours too. It's a whole network.
It's just a really cool community, the podcast world. Everyone listens to every podcast always.
We do that. So
Yeah.
Jenna and Angela,
Do
let
your
us
thing.
know.
So that's the competition, and they pair Matt. You're not a tiny guy. You're not big.
I'm
but
7 foot tall, 150 pounds.
No, but you're not. you're an average dude, but you're
Okay, slightly above average.
Exactly. Sorry.
Yeah.
Forgive my misspeak.
Yes.
They pair you up with like the smallest girl there.
Okay.
And I think the thinking was like, first of all, it'll be funny. Like,
Yeah.
who's pairing them up? Ha ha ha. But also like easy. No way Matt can
Easy
lose.
win.
So they wrestle for a bit. Matt shoves her. She falls backwards, hits her head on the ground. The EMTs have to come out in real life, not a part of the show. He takes her down. They have to take her to the hospital for concussion, like a pretty bad concussion.
Oh my gosh.
One of the actors, he just like, I don't think you meant to. You just like totally wiped her out. And so then I did watch this part, and it is so sad, but also like a little funny. The camera cuts over to you. You're in a full sumo suit, so you can see your little head, and then this full sumo suit, tears streaming down your face. So they did this whole challenge to like make you feel better and get you back in the game.
You
and
just killed somebody.
Yeah, you like pretty seriously injured someone, and now
He's-
you're weeping all over
He
the
sounds
place.
so tender-hearted.
I think he is. Yeah, and so that was 2 losses in a row.
Ugh.
Luckily, you decided not to leave the game. You stuck with it. The next day, the actress comes back, so it wasn't too bad.
Right.
They were like, she stayed overnight
She
there.
just looks slightly different. Like it's almost like somebody.
One less eye.
It's almost like a stunt double. Like, wait,
Hold on.
you look similar to the last girl, but a little bit like a different person. She's like, no, it's the same me.
Yep. Little old me. Same one.
The other one definitely didn't die.
yeah, right.
I've been no biggie.
So she comes back, and he's like, "Hey, can I talk with you for a second?" Pulls her aside. He's like, "Hey, I'm gonna give you this vacation, this all expense paid. I'm gonna talk to the producers about it. I'm giving this to you." As like, I just felt so bad.
Yeah.
So his big vacation that he won, that was supposed to be the big get him back on board. Nope, lost it. Where's my mouse? There we go. So that's the order of events. Just can you imagine like being a part of this process in any capacity, being Matt or any of
It
the
would
actors?
be pretty fun, I have to say, being part of the team that switches things up
Yeah,
every day. It'd keep you on your feet. That'd be pretty fun.
yeah. I think if they could make a cleaner version of this, I think I would thoroughly enjoy.
Can I
a
tell
show
you
like
something?
this. Yeah.
One exists.
Is it called The Truman Show?
No, brand new show. It's called Jury Duty. Have you heard of this?
Oh yeah. Unbeknownst to them, it's
Similar idea.
explain
Everybody's
the concept.
actors except for one guy, and it's like everything's secretly filmed, and there's one dude who thinks he's on jury duty, and he thinks he's like a part of the whole court process, and everybody else
That's
is actors.
interesting.
I watched a little bit of it, but same idea.
Okay, that makes me really happy. Actually,
It's on Freevee,
Freebie.
which I think means it's free.
I
But
hope.
I'm not sure.
One would hope. That
It's on
feels-
Amazon Prime, I know.
Okay. I'll have to check that one out.
Yeah.
It's called Jury Duty.
Jury Duty. I cannot endorse it, for I have only seen but 10 minutes.
I have only watched but one. Okay,
Uh,
I might check it out.
I
That
did
sounds
read at
funny.
one point there's a guy who played in, I think he was the trash dude in Parks and Rec,
Oh yeah,
tall, skinny-ish type
yeah,
of guy.
yeah.
And at one point he said something about how he liked Parks and Rec, so that guy was going to be more of a character, but they had to just kind of keep that guy away from the main dude because he would have recognized him.
I see.
Similar things. Yeah, let's report back. Let's watch it.
Yeah, we'll watch them and talk about it
Okay.
next episode, maybe, if we remember. No promises.
Oh, no, we don't make promises
don't-
anymore.
we don't.
We've decided. We
We're
just throw things in the air and see what happens.
Yeah, exactly. That might be a fun possibility.
We could watch it, could never talk about it again.
Yep, you never know. Likely we'll never talk about it again.
Thanks for keeping me honest.
So, all right, let's wrap this guy up.
Okay.
So you make it to the end. It's the final 3.
Yeah.
It was a long battle.
I hated every second of it.
Yeah, many twists. I can't explain to you how many twists and turns were in this show. There's also sorry, I just remembered another one. There was one punishment for one of the challenges where the loser had to go sleep in the laundry room.
Okay.
I don't know why that is like a punishment, but
It happened.
That was the punishment. And so the plan was for Matt to make final 2, and then they were going to have all this funny stuff orchestrated to happen.
Right.
Final 2 in this specific challenge.
Okay.
He was like the first person to get out.
Oh.
And so then they were like, what? What just happened? And so they have to keep playing this whole game, and they have to like pick a different winner and pivot on the spot and stuff. And afterwards, they were like, let's interview him and just see if we can figure out why on earth this went wrong.
Yeah.
Because he was designated to make the top 2. So they interview him, and he was like, honestly, I'm just kind of getting sick of having roommates, so I thought a night away from everyone would have been nice. So I just got out.
He
Just
wanted to sleep in the laundry room.
Yeah, it won't be comfortable, but I could get some alone time, which I felt like I needed, kind of thing. I had another funny story. But so you make it to the end. Final 3. This is the big moment. The big reveal is at the finale, which does make sense.
It does.
So they just like Survivor, they bring back everyone to the jury. So all the people that got voted out, they bring them all back in. And they who plead their case a little bit, and then they're going to vote. And the 2 guys that they let get to the end with Matt are just like I think one guy was nicer, if I remember.
Okay.
But one guy was like
Smith.
the meanest.
Brad.
Yeah.
It was Brad.
Brad.
I remember.
He was the meanest guy. He was the guy who played the jerk.
Yeah, Brad.
He was so mean. This isn't super relevant. He got voted off like episode 5 or 6, and then comes back with his lawyer and like a full contract that's like, voting me off because of this was a breach of contract. So then they let him back in, and Matt even looks at the camera with a Jim moment and is like, what on earth is happening? and then he talks to him later. He was like, I gotta be honest, man. Things were a lot simpler here when you weren't around. So just like, you just need to try to be nicer to people. Anyway, so he makes the top 3 as well. They plead their cases, and the people vote. People that just hated this mean guy all vote for him. So the mean guy wins in the end. And I did watch the finale. You can see him like, Matt's like clapping for him as he's excited.
He's upset.
Yeah, but you can tell he's like super confused,
Yeah.
like shocked. Like, what on earth? So then balloons fall and confetti falls, and the whole thing's this big celebration. And then you just hear the host do the thing where he holds a hand up to his ear that signifies he's listening to an earpiece.
Yep.
And he goes, wait, what did you say? I'm sorry, it's a bit loud. What did you? And he's like, oh, wait, guys, I'm so sorry to do this. We have a bit of a problem. And she's like, I'm sorry to do this. It has come to our attention that someone is not who they say they are, and there has been a serious breach of the game rules. And then the host is like, does anyone have anything to say? And then the camera's just on Matt, and he's like, he almost looks terrified. He's like, what is going on? And then finally the guy who won is like, okay, fine. I'm an actor, and my real name is this, and I'm just an actor here. I'm not real. And
he looked at the camera.
yeah, Matt's,
What is going on?
he's like, looks like the most shell-shocked person ever. And then, but then the guy who won says, well, ask this guy. I'm not the only one. Ask this guy. And another guy who was sitting in the jury was like, why are you throwing me under the bus? And then they fight for a bit. And then another guy's like, okay, fine. Okay, I am an actor too. And Matt's like, it almost looks like he's trying not to pass out. That's like the level of tension and stress he's under. You can just see it all in his face. And then then that guy is like, but I know I'm not the only. In fact, if you were an actor, can you just raise your hand? And every single person, including the host, raised their hand. And then you get this famous meme, famous GIF, where Matt is looking totally bewildered, and he just says, "What is going on?" And it was like a famous GIF. You've probably used it at some point.
Really?
Yeah. If you look up what's going on your phone, I'll keep talking. You look for it, and I'll point it out once you find it. So he said, just saying that over and over and over again. What is going on? What is going on? And it's so funny. So then they finally, the host is like, "Hey Matt, come here." And he's like, "What's happening?" And he's like, his eye. I've never seen someone's eyes so big. And the host is like, "Hey, come over here." And so he walks over, and the host puts his arm on his shoulder and just looks at him and says, "The only real thing in this entire show is you." And he just like screams. He's like, "What?" And then the cool thing is they end up, since they had to pivot the show because everyone loved him.
Yeah.
They end up saying like, "This is a celebration of you. Like this is we were out," which I don't believe this, but the host is like, "We set out to find the nicest guys in the country to see."
Oh.
And I was like, "No, you didn't. You just
didn't.
had to pivot your whole show." Cool thing is, they gave him everything. So every reward from every challenge, all the vacations,
all the money.
he got like a TV, all this stuff. Yeah, they got him the check for $100,000, and he just starts weeping in front of everyone. And he was like,
Breakdown.
Yeah, he was like, "I just feel like I've been like this whole heartfelt. I've been going through the hardest times of my life, and I've been underestimated. And I just feel like I've never really gotten a shot in the world. And so when I got this, I was like, when I got accepted to the show, I was like, why would they want me?" Like all these insecurities just dumping out, and all literally it panned over to the actors, and they're all like in tears, crying because they were all so impacted by him being such a nice guy. And then after he like weeps and gives his whole story, he looks at the actors and he's like, "I just want to say to you guys, if I did like anything wrong or anything mean against any of you, I just want to sincerely apologize to you right now." And they like yelled at him. They were like, "Matt, you're the nicest guy ever. You're the one getting pranked." It's so funny. But apparently at some point during the show, one of the reasons they had to pivot was because the audience watching it started asking why. They started to believe, there's a theory that got out and people started believing it, that there was actually a double twist. So the first twist is that Matt was the only one not an actor, but the second twist from the show is that all the actors were being pranked by stuff Matt did. And that the actual end prank was on the actors who thought they were pranking. So
he was an actor too.
Yeah. So they got so convinced because of how different he was than all of them that it was going to flip again at the end. So they had to like clarify, this is actually just against Matt. And so you end up winning a ton of stuff, multiple trips, $100,000, and generally celebrated by everyone who watched it as just being like the best guy ever. And that's the Joe Schmo show. They ended up making 2 more seasons successfully.
Really?
Yeah. One's in 2008 and then one's in 2013, I think.
Okay.
Never quite was the same.
Sure.
The 2013 one though was interesting because they brought 2 contestants on, and one of them
Oh.
figured it out. So they had to switch her to an actor, and they were like, "Hey, we'll give you the money, but we need you to keep acting. You can be a part of the joke now."
Oh.
So,
Wow.
yeah. Years later, they interviewed Matt, and he said that the Joe Schmo show made him feel dumb, and that if he
Yeah.
had to do it all over again,
Makes sense
he
to
wouldn't
me.
do the show at all.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah. And he also said that for years after the show, he thought that people looked at him as the butt of a joke, but he said he's now realized that no one has ever once in 9+ years said something negative to me about me being on the show. So he's like, had to realize that all the haters were just in my head.
Yeah, that is some mind games,
Yeah.
even for an adult.
Even it would be a lot emotionally to deal with, I think.
You're a joke.
And there you have it. That's the Joe Schmo show.
What did he do with the money? Did he say? Do you know?
He said it was weird. The part of me not having watched the show,
Yeah.
I was like, maybe you're a weird dude too. But he was like, ask me what I'm gonna do with the money. And so then the host was like, what are you gonna do with the $100,000? And he said, I'm going to Pittsburgh.
Okay.
So as far as we know,
Back to the community center.
yeah, bought everyone new basketballs and is
yes.
just doing his thing. I think he works for like a logistics company now or something. So nothing. I did read in a couple places that he tried to get into the entertainment industry after a little bit.
Okay.
And it just didn't work.
Yeah, too nice.
It was also before the like being on a show can make you famous,
Yeah,
but then you
yeah.
can keep it going through your social.
Yeah.
Like he couldn't have become an
Pivot.
influencer.
Sure.
So
Too early.
yeah, he missed out.
Just missed it.
Joe Schmo show.
Schmo show. No mo.
Joe no Schmo.
As far as we know.
As far as we know.
Could be season 4 coming up.
Actually,
You ever thought about the fact that this is the Joe Schmo show and you're Joe Schmo?
no.
Everybody, come on out. There's like 20 people
This
in the closet.
podcast's been fake. 20 people in the closet. Yeah. There you have it.
Okay.
So that makes this episode bug music versus the Joe Schmo show.
Hey,
It just makes me happy how random it can be.
either one, you have no idea what it is. So like, click that.
Never
If you're listening, you clicked it.
exactly.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Okay. Joe Schmo show. I'm Matt. No, I'm no longer Matt. I didn't like being Matt very much.
No, you kind of, to be honest,
That's rough.
it was a bad gig for you.
That's okay.
You won money at the end.
I came out the other side,
Yeah.
just like he did.
Mm.
I'm going to give a quick little recap of mine
Yep.
and try and convince people why they should vote for me. I talked about bug music, why, how bugs make noises, demonstrated some bug noises,
You did.
and hopefully encourage people to look at the world a little bit more closely, see how beautifully and intricately it's designed, and kind of appreciate even the small stuff and not take it for granted.
Nice.
Amen. Go for it.
This topic has zero moral. There's nothing to pull from it other than, well, oh no, I can
Okay,
pull something.
do it.
Here we go. Be a good person as best as you can, even if you're surrounded by not good things, because you never know who's watching. In his case, in the case of poor Matty boy, Joe Schmo, the entire world was watching, and millions of people everywhere.
The entire world could be watching how you handle tough situations.
Exactly. Or a single person
So
that
handle
might
them
be
with
impacted.
grace.
Yeah. So but mostly,
Oh, good job.
Mostly that you should vote for me because it was a fun topic. I think
was.
it was a learn me something worthy topic.
It
I
was.
think.
It
Yeah.
was.
Yeah. So that's it.
Okay.
Vote for that.
And then vote for me. No. Vote for me first and only me. And I will be the Matt of this episode. The winner.
no,
Yes.
I disagree.
Okay.
As someone wearing 2 left shoes, I have to strongly disagree.
As someone who got to enjoy carrying a cup while walking, vote for me. That was a callback that made 0 sense.
Yeah, it's fine.
We try and we fail. We
It's
get
good.
back up again.
It's good to reference back to earlier parts of
Okay.
the. So the
Callbacks,
punishment is.
The punishment for this episode, the loser, whoever had a worse topic / presented it, we leave it up to the listener to decide the
However you wanna
topics,
vote.
however you want, whatever categories you want to vote
Yeah.
based upon. The loser will have to eat an entire jar of peanut butter, say in one sitting or
Talked about one day.
one day.
We looked at a 16
like
ounce. It's
yeah.
like 2,500 calories.
But
So
it's got to be it can't kill you, but it also has to be a punishment still,
yeah, so it's gonna be like a do your very best situation.
Do your best.
See what happens.
Be honest. Oh, I kind of love the ones that are see what happens.
Yeah, just who knows what the report
Yeah,
will
a
be.
little science project, a little study, data collection.
Yeah.
So we'll do that. No, I mean you'll do that.
No.
Report back next
no.
time. 16-ounce
no.
jar, not a big one.
16. Yeah, keeping it. Well, it's still pretty big.
Because I feel like you could eat peanut butter with stuff all day.
Yeah.
Peanut butter and apples, you could eat that all day. Just a straight jar,
Yeah.
that might be a little bit harder to
Yeah.
gum down.
Literally.
Yeah.
Also, like my average caloric intake for a day is like 2,800 calories.
Is it really?
Yeah. So if I took 2,500 of them
Well,
from peanut butter, that would.
Then you'll only be eating 300 more calories outside of peanut butter. This is going to be interesting for you.
For you, it'll be for certainly interesting.
Maybe I'll do it too.
I think people are gonna. We'll both. Do it. I think people are gonna. They're gonna rally for Joe Schmo.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my guesstimation.
You're wrong. Anyway.
I got nothing else. What do you got?
Okay. Thank you, everybody, for listening to episode 56 or 7.
56. 56.
Yeah, we only got a couple more episodes of this season.
Yeah.
And yeah, I can't believe it. I was
It's
thinking
been
about it today. We set out our goal 3 years ago now
Yep.
to record 50 episodes. We've done it. We've surpassed it. We're enjoying it.
Yeah. We're now in a free for all. Who knows what'll happen?
Yeah,
This could be the last one ever.
it could.
Larry?
I could die.
Just kidding.
Just say goodbye without saying goodbye.
Yep.
Here's what I'll ask: what do you think about the show? Do you want us to keep doing it? I guess if you're listening, you probably enjoy it. So maybe this is not the target audience.
If you're listening and say no,
If you
stop.
listen all the way to the end, no, it's okay if you leave it. And what do you think? Let's just do like a general. If you listen all the way to the end, what do you think? What do you want to hear more of? What do you like? What do you dislike? If you got any feedback, let us know
Yeah.
through the form of a review, or Instagram, or email,
Yeah.
or text me at 406-885-3755. That's fine.
Is that your actual number?
Yeah.
Oh.
406-885-3755. Text me.
That's wow. Guys, Josiah's willing to put his number on the
I'm a
line.
Bob Goff over here.
Yeah, Bob Goff method.
I'm Bob Goffing it.
Bob Goffing it. Bob Goff, if you're
Alright.
listening, that would make my life.
I thought you were saying that you were telling people to Bob Goff.
Oh,
Bob Goff, if you're listening.
everyone, Bob Goff. Get out there and do some Bob Goffing. All right,
Anyway,
should we wrap this guy
I
up?
think so. I
Okay.
think it's a long one.
Yeah. We have not broken 2 hours yet. If we break 2 hours, then it'll be like, man, we need to reevaluate.
Hey, people do it. People listen.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for supporting. Thanks to the patrons, especially. And thanks to our moms and dads.
Yes. Larry, do your thing.